Welcome to Financial Minds Meet the Experts. I'm Jaime Agostino, your host. On this show, we're joined by financial industry experts to talk about topics, trends, and themes that credit union professionals need to know about. Today on Financial Minds Meet the Experts, we are talking with three of Vizo Financial corporate account managers about the role of the corporate account manager and their value to credit unions. Thank you guys for joining me today. But before we get started, would you mind telling our listeners a little bit about yourself? Ty, would you mind?
Sure. My name is Ty Snavely, corporate account manager. Been with the corporate for 27 years, and prior to that, worked for what was Harrisburg Belco at the time, now Belco Community. So have about 32 years of credit union experience under my belt. I live in Middletown, where Vizo Financial is located. I have a wife, Karen, two kids, Taylor and Chase, and of course our dog Bella rounds out the family. So yeah, that's it, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Joe, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Joe Reiner. Been a corporate account manager for 20 years for Vizo Financial. Not quite as long as Steve and Ty, but catching up. But I cover Maryland, DC, and Virginia. When I first started, I covered New York and New Jersey. And then our rep at the time for Maryland, DC, Cheryl, she retired. So I was asked if I'd like to cover Maryland, DC, and Virginia, which happens to be a little bit closer to my home in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So I live in Gettysburg with my wife, Kim. We have two small grandchildren that we spend as much time as possible with and spoil rotten. So that's it.
All right, thanks, Joe. And Steve, tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Jaime. Steve Houser. I've been at the corporate kind of like Ty, coming up on about 27 years. I did a couple other things before I became a rep in 2000, so I've been doing this position for about 22 years. I cover central Pennsylvania, like the Harrisburg area. Most of my members are in western PA. I cover the whole western half of the state, all the way from Uniontown, Washington, the whole way up to Erie. Credit unions, 10 million in assets and above. I live about 9 miles from the corporate. With my wife, Patty. We have 4 grown daughters, and we have 3 grandsons and a granddaughter on the way here in another month or so. So we're pretty excited about that.
Oh,
So thanks, Jaime.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Awesome.
Oh, go
I
ahead,
guess
Ty.
I guess I should add the territories that I cover. That would probably help, right? So
Go
thanks,
for it.
Joe and Steve. Thanks for the reminder. So I cover the eastern part of Pennsylvania, anywhere from State College East, and then all of New Jersey and Delaware as well. So there you go.
All right. So as you can see, we have some seasoned corporate account managers with us today. And so let's go ahead, jump right in. Ty, as a corporate account manager for Vizo Financial, what is the role with the member credit unions? What is your role with the member credit unions?
Oh, there's a number of roles, but I would say to maintain, build, and strengthen the relationships that we have, whether that be through Zoom meetings, calls, emails, just staying in touch and letting them know that we are here for them to help move their credit union forward. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and I also value the friendships that I've made over the 27 years, and that always plays a good part in the relationship that I have with the credit union. So always appreciate the friendships there. And another thing is to be accessible to the members. We haven't been traveling now with the pandemic for 2 years, and the Zoom meetings and things like that, being accessible to the members. So handling the visits here through Zoom meetings or calls, but also being here at the desk 8 hours a day, taking emails and phone calls from other members that I may not have been able to handle on a daily basis when we were out traveling. So just being accessible and providing them the service that they expect and deserve. So not only offering our programs, our services, our investment programs, but just being accessible, being here for them, and like I said, providing that excellent member service.
All right, great. You guys really are kind of like that first line of contact for these credit unions.
Right.
So,
For sure. Yeah.
all right, Steve, what are the benefits to the member credit unions for having a corporate account manager?
Yeah, Jaime, well, you kind of just said it. I mean, I would say the primary benefit is that they have a main contact here at Vizo Financial to assist them with whatever their needs are. Whether it's a question, if they're having a problem with something, interest in a new product or service, anything they need, they know they can start with me. I'll either get them the answer myself, or at the very least, I'll be able to locate the appropriate resource to get them whatever they need. We're a company that staffs close to 150 people. And instead of them having to figure out, who they might need to call, or, where do they start, most of them will start with me, which I encourage that, because that's why Vizo has me in place here to do that for them. Also, they have someone that'll keep them in the loop with what's going on at Vizo Financial, and this could be anywhere from if we have new products and services, updated investment offerings, changes that are coming out of Vizo. It's going to impact their credit union, educational events, anything that's going on. They have me to kind of keep them in the loop as far as by calls, emails, things like that, to let them know what's going on. So I think that's probably the main member benefits.
All right, great. Thank you. And Joe, how often do you meet with the member credit unions, and what's the purpose of those meetings?
Well, some of the stuff was mentioned before, but I usually meet with my members at least once a year, whether in person or via Zoom. So I do also, as Ty mentioned, call and email on a regular basis. Our meetings and calls include me providing an update, just like Steve said, on the latest happenings at the corporate, plus a discussion on how their credit union is doing and what pain points they may have. So I try to provide some guidance on any possible solutions that we have with our own services, or maybe those through our partnerships, to assist our members in alleviating the pains if possible. So we do have over 70 services and many partnerships, and they're all designed to assist our members. So our goal is to help our members earn as much as possible through investments, spend the least amount as possible on services, and also to provide liquidity options through lines of credit and other avenues if need arises.
Okay. All right. So that you're covering a lot of things in these meetings. All right. So,
Sure are.
so Steve, then you're having these meetings with the credit unions. What are the benefits for the members to be engaged in these meetings that you're having with them?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you go back to my comments, and the benefits of having the corporate account manager, most of that is highlighted during these meetings. We're telling them, what's new, what's changing, what's available today that they can take advantage of. Most importantly, it provides the member credit union a one-on-one opportunity with us to tell us, what's going on with their credit union. What are they doing now? Where do they need help? Where do they see obstacles, challenges, things like that, new things they might need, new things their members might need. And these conversations are really valuable for us. It really gives us the ability to provide the credit and solutions to their needs. It also gives us insight into their world, and that way, we kind of know where to focus our attention, so we can best serve the membership moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like by them sharing what's going on in their financial institution, you guys are able to maybe help them, whether it's through a service at Vizo Financial, or maybe a partner or another resource to them. So, okay, interesting. Thank
Exactly.
you. So, Ty, you had mentioned we had the pandemic. These things changed. How did these meetings change, and what has that impact been?
Well, you know me, Jamie, I like my routines, and kind of threw me for a loop with the pandemic. I think I was one of the last people to actually be at the corporate for a while, but coming in, working from home, and starting these Zoom meetings, I really saw, the just the effectiveness of a Zoom meeting, and having the expanded relationship meetings that we're having now with our product managers. You know, anytime that we can get a product manager in front of the credit union, and not only the CEOs, the CFOs, the people that we normally may call on, but employees in the back office that want to hear more about risk management services, and EFT, and checks and capture services, and consumer technology. Anytime we can get more people involved, not only going back to my first point about strengthening the relationship, but it really helps us as account managers. I think Joe said there we offer over 70 services. So, that's a lot to know about a lot of different things, but the product managers know the inside and outs of things, and can talk in more detail about some of the things that I might not be able to. So it's always good to have them on the call, and the effectiveness of that is just outstanding. So always like to get the product managers involved, and the Zoom meetings, like I said, they've helped us maintain those relationships throughout the pandemic, and it's just it was just a really good deal. And I enjoy working from home now, so that's good.
All right. Well, Steve, Ty kind of mentioned these expanded relationships. That's a newer thing for Vizo Financial. We recently started doing those. Could you give us a little more detail as far as what are these expanded relationship visits and how do they benefit the credit union?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the time it's the corporate account manager, working closely with the credit union, with like maybe one or two main people, which is great. We get to learn a lot about them. They learn about us. But these meetings, what they're designed to really do is just that: expand the relationship between Vizo Financial and our member credit unions. So kind of like some of the things Ty was mentioning, it gets people beyond just the rep on the phone from Vizo Financial, and maybe people beyond the CEO, the CFO at the credit union. And the more people you get on the call, you can touch base on a particular topic, a particular service, things like that. They're going to hear things from us. It's just not what the rep is saying, because I'm going to have, like Ty mentioned, we have product manager, we have product experts, whether it's payment services, whether it's investments. And these folks at Visit Financial can go a lot deeper in the conversation than I can. I have to know a lot. There's a lot of services, and we don't know, everything about every single service because there's so many. Like Joe mentioned earlier, how many services we have, how many partnerships we have. By me bringing experts onto the call with me, they can drill down a lot more on, what's going to be important to the credit union. And then the flip side of that is bringing people from the credit union beyond our main contact there. They're going to think of things too that might be specific to their department and their responsibilities at the credit union to bring up that, maybe the CEO or CFO might not necessarily think of when they're on a call with me or one of the account managers. So it really does help broaden the relationship, bring more conversation up, and just kind of find out, what all are they facing at the credit union and how we can help with use some of our product experts.
Okay. All right. Well, then Ty, what can or should a credit union do to prepare for these expanded relationship meetings?
Well, I think, like I mentioned, and like Steve just said, the more people we can have on the call, the better. Like I said, to strengthen the relationship, not only with me. I mean, I always I always like to know the CEO, obviously, and the CFO, but it's good to know people in the back office as well. And then if we can get our product managers involved there too, and they're meeting each other, that again just strengthens the relationship. So that's one thing. And just to bring more detailed questions to the conversation with the product managers available. I mean, they'll be able to answer anything, and if not, we'll get back to you in a reasonable time. But yeah, I think just involving more staff and asking as many questions as you can because we're here to help you out.
Okay. All right. Joe, as we exit this so-called pandemic state, what changes do you see for these credit union visits, if any?
Well, I think there's going to be a mix. We've been mostly meeting with our members via Zoom for the past 2 years, but I do anticipate some. I've spoken with members, and they're more open to some in-person meetings this year. As everyone, as you mentioned, gets a little more comfortable with the pandemic, hopefully coming to an end. Seems like it is, but we shall see for in the future. But it is nicer to get together if you can. But like Ty said, it's super convenient. You can meet with members all over the place in one day. But I do miss meeting everyone in person, especially if you're having a meeting over lunch or dinner, which that happens to be my particularly favorite kind of meeting. So I do miss those meetings. So hopefully this year we'll have more in-person meetings.
Okay. All right. Ty, Steve, same question. Do you see these visits changing as a result of the pandemic and the success of the Zoom meetings?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Zoom's been great. If we didn't have that technology over the last 2 years, it would have been difficult to have this kind of contact with our members. I mean, we still have phone calls, but, with the Zoom, at least does bring the face-to-face contact back. It's not the same as sitting across from somebody in their office or like Joe mentioned at lunch or dinner or something like that, but it does give us the ability to see people and have them see us. I kind of think it'll start to slowly evolve. I don't think it'll ever get back to maybe where it was, or at least not for a while. I think we're going to continue to use the technology because there's a lot of benefits to it. But I do look forward to getting back on the road a little bit, seeing people in person. It's been over 2 years since I've been on the road to visit credit unions, and you kind of miss seeing people face to face. And I know your team's going to be putting together some educational events in person this year. We've already had one or two. We're going to have more this year. We have people signing up for that, so that'll be nice too, just to see people in little groups like that. Attending some different trade shows and stuff like that. So it's kind of going to be left up to the credit union too. If you're comfortable having us there, we'll probably come see you. If you prefer Zoom, we certainly don't mind taking advantage of the technology too. Maybe a little bit of a blend.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I see a mix of both too. And Joe, don't forget the golf outings. There's always.
Oh yeah. Can't forget those.
So yeah, I see a mixture as well. Like Steve said, I don't think it's going to be like it once was. But if somebody wants to see me in person, I'd be happy to come out and see them in person. If they want to continue with the Zoom meetings, I'm more than happy to do that too. I keep going back to accessibility, and with the Zoom meetings, my members, any member can reach me here at my desk at any time. So that's always good it's nice to get out and do 3 or 4 visits a day in maybe Philadelphia or Scranton. But doing those visits on Zoom here and still being able to answer emails and take calls from other members all over the place, that's being accessible. And that's what I want to do. I want to be there for my members when they call. So yeah, I see a mixture of both, but we'll see how it goes.
All right. So Joe, as things open up, what other meetings, events do the corporate account managers attend? I heard golf outings. I think all
that's
3
one
of you
for
are
sure.
looking forward to those. But what other events are out there, and why do you guys attend those?
Well, we do provide a lot of support for the local leagues, associations, their events, the foundation events, a bunch of other meetings, including different conferences, receptions, vendor events, chapter dinners, charity golf outings. But Vizo Financial does lend a lot of our support to sponsoring many events throughout the year. So I know the various organizations really appreciate that. I really enjoy spending time with our members outside normal business atmosphere as well. And as Ty said earlier, many of my members have become personal friends, and that's what it's all about for me. I really enjoy that part of it, and that's what makes, to me, this job most fun for me.
All right, great. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yeah, I'll just say, thank you for your continued support. I mean, these last 2 years have been rough on everybody, and you can always reach out to us at any time for any questions or concerns that you might have. But I would just say, thank you for your continued support, not only the last 2 years, but as long as you've been a member with us, and we really appreciate it. And we're here to help you move your credit union forward, whether it's through products, services, investments, whatever that might be. But we're here to help you out. So like Steve said earlier, the first contact, please reach out whenever you need us.
I'll ditto that as well. Lean on us, please. Any questions you have, anything you need. If we don't know the answers, we'll find it for you for sure. But we do appreciate, like Ty said, all your support. Without, we're only successful because of the support of our members. So thank you so much for everything you do with us.
Yeah. And we know how busy you are, especially over the last 2 years, dealing with the pandemic, dealing with staffing issues. You kind of hear the same themes, from all the different credit unions. Yet when we reach out to you and say, hey, can we set up a half an hour to do a Zoom meeting and catch up? Most of the time, credit unions are willing to do that, even though they have a busy day and they have a lot going on. They'll take a little bit of time to sit down with us on a Zoom meeting and chat with us just to hear what's new at Vizo, and so we can hear what's new from you. So, we certainly appreciate that kind of support as well. That, it'd be real easy to say, hey, I got a busy day, I got a busy week, I can't talk to you. But that's typically not what we get. People are open to meeting with us this way. So that's been great. We thank you for that too.
For sure.
Great. Well, thank you. I really appreciate all 3 of you taking the time to join me today. I mean, you're hearing it from their mouths. They're here to support you, the member credit unions. Just give them a call anytime you need their help. If you're looking for a new solution or product or investment, whatever it might be, they'll point you in the right direction and help you out. And I also just want to make you aware of some of the things that the other corporate account managers will be out coming up here. So if you'd like to see your Vizo Financial corporate account managers in person,
Hope so.
Vizo Financial will have a booth at some of the following upcoming league events. At the Virginia Credit Union League Ignite 2022 in Roanoke, Virginia, both Jill Bennett and Joe Reiner will be at the Vizo Financial booth. Then we have Cross States Convention 2022. That's going to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Both Robin Cooper and Steve Houser will be there. Then Maryland, DC Credit Union Association's their Connect 2022. It's going to be in Ocean City, Maryland. Joe Reiner will be at that one. And then we'll round it out here. Carolina Credit Union League 2022 Imagine Conference. This one will be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and corporate account manager Jill Bennett will be at that one. So those are some of the events where you can stop by the booth and talk to one of our corporate account managers. We hope to see you there. Ty, Steve, Joe, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thanks,
And-
Jerry.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
And thanks to everyone for listening, and I hope you all have a great day.